Therefore, I'll read the translation, read the shloka, translation and purport, and then we'll discuss. Aho bata mahatpapam kartum stitavya vayam yadraja sukalobena hantum swajanam udyata. Translation purport given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti from Srila Prabhupada. Translation: Alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts, driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness. We are intent on killing our own kinsman. Purport. Driven by selfish motives, one may be inclined to such sinful acts as the killing of one's own brother, father, or mother. There are many such instances in the history of the world. But Arjuna, being a saintly devotee of the Lord, is always conscious of moral principles and therefore takes care of avoiding such activities. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatharine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Dangayate Gram Mitkripatamam Bande Shri Guru Dinatharinam. Hare Krishna. So, in this particular shloka, Aho Bhata Mahat Papam Kartum Vyavasita Vayam Yadraja Sukalobena Antam Swajanam Udyataha. Alas, translation, alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts, driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness. We are intent to kill our own kinsmen. It's a very interesting shloka where Arjuna is telling Krishna, "Oh, my dear Lord, why are we fighting? What is the reason of this quarrel? Why are we behaving like this? What do we gain by this? If I get this kingdom, what benefit I will get? I do not want to kill all these people to get some kingdom. Why people are fighting? These are the questions which Arjuna is asking the Lord. Okay, they might be sinful, but I don't want to commit this crime, this heinous act. Arjuna says at a point of time, it's a heinous act. What is this heinous act? Heinous act is what? Heinous act, he doesn't want to kill these people. His motive is something else. His motive is to be simple. His motive is to be uh, not complex in his life. Very simple, very sublime. That is his motive. That is his intention. So Arjuna is telling, "Oh, my dear Lord, what this property? What do I gain with this?" He's a devotee, right? Arjuna is a devotee. He doesn't want all of these things. He just wants to serve the Lord. And he is asking the Lord, "Oh, my dear Lord, what is this? I don't want to do this. I don't want to engage in this. So please help me not doing this." No, these are all the indications by Arjuna. Now he is clearly telling. So, dear devotees, this is a great placeholder for us to really meditate and understand. Atyahara prayasasta prajalpaniyam agraha janasangasya navalyam cha shadivir bhaktir vinasyati. What is this? Rupa Goswami teaching us, Srila Prabhupada, our beloved teacher, founder Acharya, is telling us, Atyahara is not good, my dear devotees. That is what he's telling us. What is Atyahara? Atyahara is over endeavor. Over endeavor for what? Give me more, give me more, give me more. Not to maintain his body, not to maintain his life. He wants more. This is called as Atyahara. Through that Atyahara, people do 2 jobs, 3 jobs, or both husband and wife, they work. Why? Because they have a big home. To maintain that big home, big property has to be there. 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms, big things should be there. Why? Because to lead a luxurious life. Okay. So here Arjuna is telling, oh, I don't want that. See, Arjuna is about to get a big kingdom. That means he'll become a king. He'll be sitting on the royal throne. If he kills all the Kauravas, then the property is there. That means entire uh, he'll rule this entire world at that time. So entire Hastinapur will be under, not just Hastinapur, this entire world will be under his grip, his control. No, Arjuna is not thinking for that. Now, this is a right sign to hear Bhagavad Gita. That is why Arjuna could understood the Gita. I always think about this. How is that Arjuna just understood the Gita just like that? He just heard. Arey, just in second chapter only, Arjuna after a few slokas, he realized that I should serve Krishna right away. That's the realization. Because he's on a selfless plane. Because if a person who is already selfless, it's easy to give him Krishna consciousness. But if a person is very selfish, oh, very difficult. So what is selfish? Selfish is like a wet grass. What is that, dear devotees? Selfish is what? Wet grass. Wet grass means no matter how much you lit it, you will get only smoke. You will not get fire out of this because it is wet. The wet grass is not helpful. But whereas a dry grass, small, small matchbox, you lit it small, it's it's activated right away. It's not a problem. There's no problem there. Very small thing, immediately lit up, right? This is the state. So, if a person is very selfless, for him to take up Krishna consciousness is very easy. Arjuna is already pure devotee. That is why he's telling Arya, why this money, this, that, so many other things. Why this kingdom, that, so many other things. He doesn't want that. That's why Krishna is telling you do that. He doesn't want that. That's why he says that you are the right person to have that. For example, if a person is not looking for name, fame, profit, adoration, then he should become the head. He should become the leader. Because he's not looking for name, fame, profit, adoration. But if a person is looking for name, fame, profit, adoration, he should never become a leader. Because that is not helping him. Because he's looking for name, fame, profit. And that is not helping whoever comes to him. That's why one should be free from these things. Free from what? Free from these things. Free from being selfish. Arjuna is clearly telling, oh, my dear Lord, I will give up my kingdom. I don't want this kingdom also. Why you are telling me to take this? Now, there's a beautiful story on this line. There's a, there's a story between two people. Uh, Dharmaraj, Yudhishthir Maharaj, and Duryodhana. Now, Krishna tells both of them two things. He says to Yudhishthir Maharaj, you try to find a better person. You try to find a person who doesn't have good qualities. That was to Yudhishthira Maharaj. And to Duryodhana, he says, you try to find a person uh, who's better than you. And then both would go. And then Yudhishthira Maharaj is unable to find a person. For what? Because even in every person is seeing some good qualities. He comes and he tells, no, nobody is superior. Everyone is superior to me. He tells, every, everyone is superior to me. Hare Krishna. He tells everyone is superior to me. And then he says, oh, this person, he has a good quality. This person also has a good quality. And this small child, he also has a good quality. He's very obedient to his parents. So likewise, Yudhishthira Maharaj is telling about everyone some good qualities. And then he's telling that, oh, they're all superior to me. It's a beautiful quality of a pure devotee. And when Duryodhana comes, and then he says, is there is there any person superior to you? And then he says, oh, no, no, nobody is superior to me. Everyone is useless. They're all cheating. Nice. They're not good people. They all have bad qualities in them. They're not nice. They're bad people. I don't want them. See, that is the reason Krishna told both of them two different things. He's asking Yudhishthira Maharaj to find a person who doesn't have good qualities. But on the other side, he's asking Duryodhana to find a person who has some good qualities. And both failed. Because Yudhishthira Maharaj is always finding good qualities. He's unable to see bad in others. But whereas Duryodhana is always finding bad qualities, unable to see good in others. That's why a leader should be like this. Who should be the leader? Leader should be a person. He's thinking that I am very fallen, I'm most fallen. Somehow they kept me in that state. And then I'll just serve according to the instructions of my teacher, of my master. That person is a leader, not the person who is completely engrossed in the materialistic propensities, who's aspiring for so many things, Dana, Jana, Sundari, so many other things, so many propensities. He cannot become leader. That's why Duryodhana is suffering actually in that state. For Duryodhana, it's a suffering. No doubt he's actually leading his life. No doubt he's leading the kingdom, but he's actually suffering. Why? Because that is not good for him. That is why Krishna wants to remove him and then keep Yudhishthira Maharaj there. Keep Pandavas there. That is the core reason, dear devotees. Please try to understand. It's not like Lord is partial to Pandavas. No, no, Lord is not partial to Pandavas. Lord wanted to give, Lord wanted to put his devotees in the best place. If the devotee is ruling, then the entire kingdom will be great. Very, very important. Very inspiring this is. This we need to understand very core to the heart. That is the whole reason why Arjuna is saying, no, I don't want any of these things. मुझे चाहिए ही नहीं वो मेरा काम का ही नहीं है Arjuna is telling. That is not my thing, my dear. Not. Why are you telling me to do that? I cannot do that. But on the other side, Duryodhana, he wants more, more, more. That's why if you see the people who are the politicians, they're like Duryodhana. Why? Because they want to become king, they want to become the prime minister or chief minister again and again, again and again, again and again. Why? Because they don't do service. They do just sense gratification. I'm not talking about everyone. There's some good people also, good politicians also. I don't know, but I'm just telling. There might be some good people. So it's important. That is why Duryodhana is suffering actually. He's lamenting. He's there, but he's not happy. Now that is also one of the reasons why Duryodhana actually chastised Vidura. Here, this is another important aspect. Vidura, all through his life, he was trying to train Dhritarashtra under the principles of Krishna consciousness. But Dhritarashtra, he never accepted. See, here is a good lesson, dear devotees. This is the mood of the spiritual master. This is a mood of pure devotees. You know how they aspire? You know what they do? Uh, you know what they do? They continuously give the association. Even though they know that the other side, they're not taking, the other party is not taking it correctly. But still, what they do is they continuously give again and again. Here, Vidura is a great example for that. Vidura is continuously giving association to Dhritarashtra again and again since the birth of Duryodhana. The moment the moment Duryodhana was born, Vidura told Dhritarashtra that kill this, kill this, kill this. He will ruin the entire kingdom. Kill this. He's a demon. Kill this person right away. He did not. He did not. What he did? He did not kill because he had raga. He had attachment. He's thinking, oh, my son, he belongs to me, he's my property, oh my, he came from my blood. No, he's my life and soul, he's my heart and heart. Are no, you are on the big stage. What is big stage? That means your family is ruling this entire world. Dhritarashtra's family, what are they doing? They're ruling this entire world. If the ruler on the top is not correct, then who is affected? Entire people are affected. Entire kingdom is affected. That means if you kill that one person, the entire kingdom is saved. Now you might say, oh, Vidura, why is Vidura is telling like that? Oh, Vidura is a devotee na. Devotee do harm. Devotee cannot do harm na. Why is Vidura telling like that? No, 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 no. Vidura is thinking he has a bigger picture. He has a greater awareness. Through that greater awareness, what is he trying to teach? He's trying to tell, no, 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 that is right only. If you kill him, the kingdom will be good. But Dhritarashtra, out of his attachment, he's not thinking. He's not taking the words of Vidura. Out of his attachment, what is he trying to do? He's trying to ignore that instruction. This is what we are doing life after life. What are we doing? Krishna consciousness is coming. But what are we trying to do? We are trying to ignore that. छोड़ दो यार कल करेंगे tomorrow I'll practice from tomorrow I'll be sincere tomorrow I'll do not today is not good from tomorrow no Krishna told na anta kalechma mecha saran mukta yam yam bapishmaran bhavan hajantante kalavaram whatever you remember at the time of death you'll get that so just remember Krishna at the time of death and go back to the who is that the consciousness has to be developed. If the consciousness is not developed all through the life, how can we remember the Lord at the time of death? That is why Vidura is continuously telling Dhritarashtra, the Dhritarashtra is never listening. But here the great quality in Vidura is patience and compassion. He has unlimited patience, unlimited compassion towards his brother, elder brother. Unlimited. Unlimited patience and compassion. Very important. Because what is he doing? Arey, just think about this. One side you are telling, let's say you are trying to teach your son something. You're telling him, but he's not listening. Again, you're telling him, he's not listening. 10 times you told him, he's not listening. Don't we get frustration? We'll get frustration and then we'll hit him, which might be good for him. But what are we doing? Our patience is lost. But Vidura is not like that. Dhritarashtra is not listening, but he's telling him again and again, all through the life. You know what kind of personality are these? They are. It's great, na? Prahlad Maharaj, not Prahlad Maharaj, Arjuna, here in this instance is telling, oh my dear Lord, how can I kill them? I don't want this kingdom, which is absolutely perfect. There's no harm in that. Absolutely perfect. Because he wants to stay in the selfless, but Krishna doesn't even want that. He wants more. That's why Krishna says, you fight for me. This is devotion, you do this. That means what are we trying to do? We are trying to work for the pleasure of the Lord, not for something else. That is a mode. That is a mode which we need to ask for. Here, Vidura was continuously helping Duryodhana also, but Duryodhana never listens to Vidura. That is a problem. He listens to Shakuni, who is not a pure devotee. Because what is he? He is not a devotee. That's why he doesn't listen to another devotee, another pure soul. He listens to somebody who is actually fulfilling his desires. This is what is happening in this world. Our goals and aspirations depends on who our role models are. If our role model is our Srila Prabhupada, if our role model is his teachings, then that is good and that is beneficial for us. But if our role model is something else, then it is not beneficial for us. Very, very important. This we need to aspire more in. Arjuna very clearly telling that this is not the right way of doing things. This is an incorrect way. These are not the right ways of doing things. Because Arjuna knows, "Arey, why I should kill these people? I don't want kingdom. Why are you telling my dear not to have this kingdom?" That's a valid point actually. Because he's in which plane? He's in a selfless plane. He is not looking for this name, fame, profit, adoration. This is the quality of a leader. That is why Krishna says, among the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. Hare. Why? Because Krishna likes him so much. He personally tells about Arjuna in Gita. Because the Lord is very pleased with his pure devotees. Because what is his pure devotee? He is not looking for anything else other than the Lord. Now, how do we know that Arjuna is not looking anything else other than the Lord? Because the moment Krishna told Arjuna, immediately accepted through principle of submissiveness. He's not thinking that, oh, this is pleasing, oh, I don't like this, how can I do this? Or this is not my business, how can I aspire for this? He's not thinking on those lines. What is his thought process? Krishna told me, I'll do it. Likewise, when we come to this plane, that if my spiritual master is telling I'll do it, then that is a blessing for us. It is a great blessing. When we develop that state of consciousness, progress is rapid. Krishna consciousness progress is rapid. That's why if you see Arjuna could understand Gita right away. Because he's free from all these impurities. That is why Duryodhana couldn't understand Gita. Because what he has so many attachments. Though Dhritarashtra knows Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he's not in a position to accept. This is another dilemma. I always think about this. Now, if you know someone as superior, if you know someone as a supreme, then what is the problem to accept him? Now, the problem to accept him as a supreme is because we have so many attachments. Because if I accept him, then all of my attachment might be gone. Now, Duryodhana has a fear. Fear of what? His position might be lost. He has a fear of that. Is it not a problem we had about this? It is a big problem. It is not a small problem. Please try to understand. It is a very big problem. That is why if a sadhaka should come to this plane, what is the essence of varnashrama? We discussed in the previous sloka, right? Before one leaves his body, one should be free from all sinful tendencies. And that is the essence of varnashrama. Devi varnashrama, Prabhupada says, what is the essence of Devi varnashrama? This is the essence. That before one leaves the body, he should be free from all the sinful tendencies from the heart. Not externally, but from the heart. When a person becomes free from the sinful tendencies from the heart, then what happens? No one can cheat him in this world. That is the state of Arjuna. Arjuna knows all the scriptures. Arjuna knows everything. But still, he doesn't want to fight because he doesn't like it. That means, even though it looks selfish, selfless, but a tendency of not to fight because that is not pleasing him. That motive is there. That is why he was kept in a state of bewilderment. Just think about this, dear devotee. Simple thinking that this doesn't like me, that's why I'm not doing it. It's an obstruction in pure devotional service. Just like Vidura, when he tells Dhritarashtra, Dhritarashtra is not in a position to accept. But just imagine if Dhritarashtra accepted the words of Vidura in the right way. Duryodhana wouldn't have been born. There is no question of problem in the kingdom. But he did not accept. What to speak about that? When Krishna came to the kingdom, telling Duryodhana, showing them the universal form, proving them that I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at that point of time, if they accepted, then the war wouldn't have been there. If they would have accepted and given those 5 villages, the war wouldn't have been there. But they did not accept. Please try to understand. Submissiveness is not that easy. When we have a lot of attachments, submissiveness will not come. That's why we know. Submissiveness is not that easy, but whoever develops that submissiveness towards the words of the Acharya, towards the Lord, he understands the essence of all the scriptures. Just like the cobbler, remember the story of the cobbler and the Brahmana? Who knows? I think you all know the story of cobbler and the Brahmana. Cobbler immediately accepted the truth. Then he was protected. But the Brahmana did not accept. He accepted in his own way. In his Brahminical understanding, he accepted. That's why he couldn't see the Lord. But this cobbler, what he accepted as is. Just like Arjuna accepted from the Lord. Just like a child, he accepts the mother. For example, we have a daughter and a son, right? The daughter immediately accepts the instructions of the father. The daughter immediately accepts the instructions of the mother. What is the daughter? She is kept in a good state. She doesn't go through any problems or any difficulties. Because what is she doing? She's in a position to accept. Dhritarashtra was not in a position to do that. Duryodhana was not in a position to do that. That is why they failed the cruel death. Here another important aspect. I'll tell this and conclude. What is another important aspect? Dhritarashtra, at the fag end of his life, after all his children were being killed, then Vidura, when he comes and tells, then he realizes and then he quits. He quits the kingdom and then goes. At that moment, he comes to the plane of Brahma Bhuta. Brahman realized. What happened? Because he heard the instructions of Vidura. But Vidura was lamenting because he couldn't get the plane of Krishna Prem. He couldn't come to the plane of Krishna Prem. That was his lamentation. But see the acceptance, he accepted at that moment. What to speak of his acceptance before? Let's say if you were accepted way before, you would have received Krishna Prem. Likewise, dear devotees, if our acceptance is correct at the right place, at the right moment, then we will gain so much happiness through the process of Krishna consciousness. Very important. Very, very important. Otherwise, this is a very troublesome subject. Hare Krishna. I think, dear devotees, I'll conclude here. Anyone has any questions? We'll discuss for a few minutes and then we'll conclude the session. Hare Krishna. Anyone would like to add anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, about killing Duryodhana as soon as he's born, wouldn't that set the wrong precedent of like killing babies? I understand you said that Vidura knows better, but also, Duryodhana, because he lived, finally he went through this and his soul is in a better place, because at the time of death he was acting in a better way. When Karna bought the little sons of Pandavas, thinking it's Pandavas, he said, "You have done a very big, bad, grave mistake,"
Correct.
things like that. So, isn't it better that the baby lived and he learned his lesson and finally in a better place?
Actually, your devotees, they have a clear picture. Yeah, no doubt, Duryodhana, if he would have lived, if you see all his entire his life, he was troubling Pandavas so much. The core principle there is if the leader is properly trained in the science of Krishna consciousness, then the society benefits so much from him. Just like Parikshit Maharaj, he ruled for 700 years. His entire rule was so beautiful that everyone was so happy. It was like Rama Rajya. It was as equal as kingdom of Lord Ramachandra. People were so happy because they were all practicing, they were following regulatory principles. They were so happy doing that. But here, Duryodhana couldn't establish that, couldn't maintain that. Through that, what happens is not just he is suffering himself, the society is also suffered so much. So Vidura's whole idea to kill Duryodhana was to protect the people in the future. That was a whole reason and manifestation of how he was establishing that. And through that understanding, it's a very clear proof that pure devotees they think so much about the future. Just like Srila Prabhupada, through the principles of Varnashrama Dharma, he says that if a sadhaka comes to this plane of completely becoming free from all sinful tendencies before he leaves the body, that is a perfection of his life. That means he's completely free. He's there in a pure plane. That is a perfection. He says that that is the essence of Devi Varnashram. And then he says that for this to happen, one should take continuous training, continuous association of the Vaishnavas, continuously hear from them, continuously understand their truth, continuously meditate on them, and then move forward. But here in this case, when Duryodhana becomes a king, these things cannot be established. That is why if you actually see, Duryodhana was always against Vidura. Whatever Vidura is telling, Duryodhana would never accept because it's a demonic mentality. This Vidura knows. That's why he says it's not good. Because he's in a leader position. For example, if he's in a normal position, Vidura would never have been told that. Vidura would never told that. That oh, you have to kill this child. But he'll be in a top position. He knows. He knows. That's why he says that because it is ruining the entire nation. Because they have a wider picture. For that reason, he says, you should kill this person. That is the whole idea. He has nothing, he has no enmity towards the child, he has no personal grudge, nothing, any of those things. It is only intention was to protect the citizens. Because that is a Vaishnava, right? Paradukha Dukhi. They don't want to see, they don't want others to go through the difficulties. So they want to stop the difficulty way before itself. That is the state of their consciousness. That's why, that's why Vidura told him to kill him right away. Hare Krishna. Making sense, from?
Yes, Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam. Actually, even though Duryodhana is bad, if his father was better, I think it is more Dhritarashtra's fault that he entertained Duryodhana. If Dhritarashtra
Yes,
was,
Dhritarashtra's fault only, correct. Dhritarashtra's fault.
yeah, he could have just made Yudhishthira the king based on his qualifications instead of being too attached to his son.
Correct. You're right. Because since then, he would never remember Vidura. Because Vidura told, like Bhishmadev told, he would never listen. That is why Raga is very deep, actually. One should have love towards the children, but should never have Raga towards them. It's very, very important. Hare Krishna.
Even
Anyone else?
Prabhuji, just want to add even the discussion what you and Prabhu was doing just now, Vamsi Vilas Prabhu. So even Gandhari and many others from the family, they try to convince uh, Dhritarashtra this is not proper, but still,
Correct.
Dhritarashtra,
You're right.
somehow or the other, he had that in his mind, like, I am not a blessed child myself, because I have these blind eyes, and everyone is taking my advantage, so my son should get all the rights. So somewhere,
Yes.
that
Yes.
selfishness. Yeah,
Yes. You're absolutely right, bro. You're absolutely right. That's right.
yeah,
Everyone
but
were doing.
yeah,
Yes.
very nice. Okay, that, and also at the end, when the war was about to end, even the last fight between Bhima and Duryodhana. Finally, Bhima hits with his gada on his thigh, and then Duryodhana collapses. Otherwise, it was difficult for Bhima to, you know, defeat. Bhima to defeat Duryodhana because he was
Correct. Correct.
more
Because he's
than,
very powerful.
yeah, powerful. So, but still, God Krishna, you know, has that mercy, when he is, you know, in the pain with that broken thigh, Krishna, everyone leaves him in that place, but Krishna comes to Duryodhana, and it is said like that. He comes and he talks to Duryodhana, and he still says, at that time, he starts blaming Krishna, and Krishna comes in front of him, and then
Correct.
Duryodhana says, hey, Partha, you had never supported me, despite of, if you would have thought, that this thing would not have happened, but then Krishna says, in the beginning, when I was, what you mentioned in the class, Krishna was trying to, he showed his Swarupa, right? Virata Swarupa, or,
Yes. Yes.
so many realizations as that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But knowing that, they did not obey, or they were not convinced because they were so much
Still, they
engrossed
did
in the
not accept.
material. Yeah.
Actually, that is a great lesson for all of us because when we become free from the principles of atyahara, that means not over enduring too much.
Mm.
That is actually an indication of learning the science of Krishna consciousness on a deeper level to really understand, to really take this truth more and more. Because
Yes.
we are actually trying to understand that Krishna is supreme personality of Godhead, but when the actions are not kept in the right way, then we don't yield the right results. So one should aspire, one should develop those desires to to use whatever minimal is necessary for us, and then use the rest in the service of the Lord. When we aspire doing that, then more and more deeper conviction, deeper realizations will come to us.
Yes. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you all very much. I'll stop here. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai.
जी जय वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धु एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय
Jai.
नील गोविंद प्रभु जी की जय
Jai.
Thank you so much for the class, and the discussion was very nice in the morning. Hare Krishna.